Hello, Professor Morgan here, showing you a little adventure. We're transitioning from Moodle to Canvas, and so here are some things that I figured out. I finished building my class, and so let's just take a look at some of the things here. All right, so here is my built course, and I actually changed something. I'm going to show you in a second. Um, it is what it is. There's all the modules week by week, and then if you click on one, then it opens it up and what we're doing. And then I'll just kind of find an example here. Let's say this week right here. It's like, so I created a page for the goals for the week that just kind of said, okay, what we're doing, and kind of like the things that are items that are due. And then if I just go back to the home page, I mean, that's kind of what the goals were. And then here's actually like the reading for the week, because we use open educational resources for this class. So the textbook is built into the week, and then like there's the essay they have to write, and then the journal they have to do, and it shows the date and how many points it's worth. So that's all cool. Okay. So, I mean, there's not really, I mean, I could add, if I wanted to be fun, in the goals for the week, like on my top page here for the Welcome to English 213, I actually created, put an image in there. So if I wanted to spice it up that way, but you don't see it from the home page when it's here. So there's that. Okay, that's thing one. Thing two, before in no particular order, is there's a lot of stuff over here. Okay, lots of stuff over here, and when I go to view it as a student, okay. So there's all sorts of things that they can see. Oh, what is this? What is this? What is this? Well, I don't want to have my students be confused. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go to settings and go to navigation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, so for example, like the big blue button. Frankly, folks, I have no idea what that is. So I'm just going to put that down here. So you can drag items to hide from the student. So I'm going to pause the video and do that. All right, so when I moved all those things down to hidden, so now when I view it as a student, then all they see is the syllabus, the modules, well, they have home, announcements, grades, and then the Shaw U Canvas AI Assist. So, I mean, what else do they need, really? I mean, now, so moving on from there, another thing that's very helpful is the syllabus. This is really cool the way that this did. So when I set up my syllabus here, so there's my syllabus, but the awesome stuff here is, so there is the weightings right there. So right there of that's also listed in the syllabus down here proper. But also if you scroll down to the bottom, so it has all the assignments they have to do and when they are due. So I have everything due Friday nights by 11:59 p.m. So all the things are down there. And also from the calendar, so anything that's highlighted in gray, so if let's say I'm going through this semester and I'm like, oh, what's due the 13th of February? I click on here, boom, it takes me right to that and shows me what I need to do. So I'm going to integrate this in my coursework with my students just to help them constantly go back to the syllabus to make sure they can see exactly what's due when. It's very clear as far as that goes. That's nice. Appreciate that. Okay. So another thing I learned. So for full disclosure, I did the whole. Let me get it out of the student view. So I imported existing content. So I had downloaded the backup files from Moodle, and then I imported them into this class, and then I basically reorganized them. That was very helpful because it brought over a lot of information. However, one thing it did not bring over was the rubrics. I had to create all the rubrics from scratch. And so, and again, if someone's watching this and they know a better way to do that from Moodle, but I had to create all from scratch. So for example, writing project 3, let's just take a look at this. Okay. There's the assignment. So here's the rubric that I had to create. Okay. And another thing while we're talking about rubrics is I learned this the hard way is that so if I click on the edit button here for the rubric, after I create the rubric, I got to remember to click on this button down here. Use this rubric for the assignment grading. Because if you create all this and you don't click this button, when you go to grade stuff, the rubric won't show up. because I went to just practice that after I created a rubric. I'm like, wait a minute, I created a rubric. Where is it? Because I hadn't clicked that button. So yeah, that's important. Okay, so there's that. What else? Which is fun. Actually, and again, if anyone knows, because I cannot figure this out for the life of me about attendance. Attendance is done a lot differently in Canvas than it was in Moodle, where we could actually set up what dates we were going to be taking attendance and run all sorts of different reports. Yeah, really not so much with Canvas. It's done differently. It just uses a different mentality. And here's what it does, and here's what it's not do. So let's just walk through it. This is probably the biggest challenge that I'm dealing with. So if I go to attendance, okay. So here's some students, okay, which I blurred out, which you can't see. And I'm just going to go back and let's do attendance for a few days. So again, in a separate video, I explained that you can, if you click on it once, they're present. If you click on it again, and then they're absent. If you click on it again, they're tardy, and that's it. I'm just going to pause the video here and take attendance for a few days, just to show you what I'm talking about. Okay. Actually, I should just show you. So just to change the dates, I can either just pick the date picker from here, or I can, do it this way. So that's all I'm doing is just going through that. And that's how I'm picking which day I'm doing it on. So that's how I can go back in time and make any changes. Okay, so now I've taken attendance for 3 days. But let's say I want to figure out, okay, so it's midterms and I have to report how many times the student has been absent. Okay, so all the tutorials that I saw is if you go to this gear button, you can go to attendance report and you can say, okay, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, well, I want attendance, and I'm going to go from, let's say, the 1st of December. Let's just go to, whatever, just at that time frame of whenever I'm going to be taking it, okay? And where do you want us to send us the report? And I thought, well, that's a little weird. They're going to email me the report? I'll say, okay, fine. So I'm going to hit run report. And it's going to be like, okay. So I'm going to go to my inbox. Okay, so here's the email that is sent to me. So I click on the email, and it's like, oh, well, that's nice. That's a big old code. Okay. And I can download this report for the next 6 hours. Well, let's click on it and see what happens. So, okay. I was hoping it was going to say, okay, I could pick a particular student. So let's say these are the students right here. Again, it's blurred. I can sort by this. And then, okay, so like this student is, the same student. I could say, okay, well, they were present the whole time. But this next student, they had one absent? That seems a little laborious to me. And there's not really, again, unless you're really an Excel spreadsheet wizard, I'm sure there may be some way to do it, but it doesn't really show you that. And there's another thing we can do with attendance that I learned about. Okay. So their solution is, as that I can figure out, is like, if I want to know for sure, so I go to the furthest date out there, okay? If I click on more for the student, then it shows me how many times they were present, how many times they were absent, how many times they were excused. So if I go to the next student here and click on more, you can see that they have one absence and one of them is excused and stuff like that. And it shows me the attendance percentage. Now, again, if you're using percentage as part of your grade, which we're not doing that, okay? But that's where you can figure out, that's where you can get the total number of absences up to point of date, is that you have to click on attendance and you have to click on the individual student and hit the more button to see exactly what their particular situation is. So there's that. If there's a better way around it, please let me know. I don't know. That's what I figured out. So I think those are really kind of the major items. Okay, there's a lot more that it can do, but this is just a little yeah. So, but everything seems to be, you can see everything. Again, when you go to syllabus, it's got everything all built out, and it's got all the assignments and everything, and the quizzes came over just great, and stuff like that. Oh, bonus thing. So this is a little more advanced. So if you don't care, you can stop the video. But if not, so when it came to so for writing project 3, for me, what I do is I have a first draft and I have a final draft. So if I go to like the assignments, okay, assignments, because these are the different weighting categories. So I'm going to go down here to writing project 3. So for my first draft, basically it's worth 10 points. Okay, this is a weighted grading, so that's 25% of the overall grade. And so for the first draft, I have them do the best they can. As long as they complete like a first full draft, I'm just looking for, did you complete the whole thing that I can give you really good feedback on, so then you can go through and revise it, because revision is part of the writing process. The problem with this is that because it's a weighted grading, when they would turn in their first draft, that's the only thing that's in that bucket. So it would go to this and say, woohoo, look at your grade. It just went up a whole bunch because you turned in a first draft. And students were getting all confused with that when they turned the final draft. And they did really poorly on the final draft, because this was just like turn it in, right? So small points. And let's say they earned 50 here. All of a sudden their grade went down significantly. I was getting an A, whatever. So what I did is, and I did this in Moodle, is I decided, okay, well, I want to drop one of these initially. So you can see what these rules right here. So how that's done, if I remember how to do it. Yeah. So what I did is I just said, hey, right now, drop the lowest and the highest score, which means that once they turn in the first draft, it actually will not calculate it as part of the grade. Okay. Yet, when they then turn in the final draft, I go into this and I just change this to 0 and save it. Okay, and then those rules go away, and then it calculates everything in this bucket to be part of the total. So yeah, that was just a way that, again, just over the years, as I've been doing this, students would get all excited because of the weighting grading system. It's like, well, yeah, but that's just part of the weighted, So anyway, that's the advanced stuff. So hopefully that's helpful. If you, again, please leave in the comments if you have other insight that, whatever. I'm always open to learn. All right, thanks.